Michelle L. Anderson, coming to you live from Podcast Detroit, Royal Oak Studios. We are looking forward to intriguing and entertaining you every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Let me start today's show by saying thank you for joining our family, which is biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice, DNA not required. Well, hello, hello. Today is Tuesday. You know what that means. I'm here with my special guest. This is Michelle Anderson on the LoveLogical DNA Not Required podcast. And tonight I have a new and upcoming organization, which is a group of women who have come together for one common purpose. And all of the women here are entrepreneurs. And what they're doing is something that I hear us talk about in the community a lot, but they're doing it. They are not only they formed an organization to where they're supporting each other's businesses by supporting each other's businesses while coming together for the common goal of fighting human sex trafficking awareness within the community. And they are fighting, as we're going to talk about tonight, they're united to fight for our children within the community so that they can have the mindset to say no, 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 so they won't be victimized. So let me have them introduce themselves to you and tell you what their entrepreneurial endeavor is, what it is that they do. You want to start, Miracle?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Miracle Norrid. I am the executive director of LWSC Community Circle and the co-owner of Norrid Services Property Management.
Okay, and then we have
Hi,
Stacy.
my name is Stacy Johnson, founder and CEO of Stacy J Productions. I am a playwright and a public speaker.
Okay.
And hi, my name is Tanisha Simmons. I am the founder of Army of Angels. It's a nonprofit organization.
Mm-hmm.
And my name is Kathleen Hurd. I am the founder of Damsel Take Your Crown.
Okay. We are here today, and let's see who's not here today.
Rise and
Okay.
at peace.
So we have Roz, and could you tell a little bit about Roz, Kathleen?
Rosalind Flint is the owner and operator of the Urban Country Tea House in Brightmoor, and she is our go-to for peace and quiet. It's a place where you have to go and have to find out just where you can go to have peace and quiet.
Okay.
And she has been there for about 4 or 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also the founder of Cross Pollination Corridor. And Cross Pollination Corridor is a place where she is teaching people, young people, and every people,
Mm-hmm. All people.
all
yes.
people,
Mm-hmm.
about cross pollination with bees, bats, and butterflies.
You said bats too. Now I didn't know about the bats.
Yes, bats
Okay.
as well, and
Okay.
butterflies.
Okay.
So she's building her own little empire in that area, and it is really a place that you need to go and see.
It is.
Did she mention a garden? You want to talk to her about the? Did you mention a garden? That Ross has?
Oh, that she's also a farmer and a beekeeper, and she takes her wares to the country fair, the farmers market during the summer.
And she's doing all that right within Brightmoor
Right
as
within
well. So
Brightmoor.
she's a community farmer.
Yes.
And I'm talking about I know we have Food Field in Detroit, and then we have the cross pollination corridor there within Brightmoor, which is very, very interesting is to see what she's growing over there.
Yes.
Yes. And then At Peace. Would you like to also share a little bit about At Peace?
At Peace, I spoke with her today. She, on this coming Friday, she will have a play that she wrote, a short play that she wrote at the Redford Theater. And it's going to be one of, I think, 8 or 9 plays. So she asked that we all come out and see her play. It's free.
Okay.
The Redford Theater is on Gloucester and Grand River.
Love the Redford Theater.
Yes, and she says she's been so busy that she can't focus on everything right now, but she'll be back as soon as she's done doing this.
Oh, that's okay because she's actually been doing a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, she's doing a lot. At
Yes.
Meet in the Street, she was our MC.
Yes.
So we all came together through Kathleen. Kathleen Hurd brought all of us together because everyone knows I'm Michelle Anderson with LoveLogical. And Kathleen, she's been working with Miracle for a while, and they came together with their views and their organizations and decided that they were going to make a difference. And I was asked to come and speak at Meet in the Street, and then Stacy was actually going to be a speaker at Meet in the Street. And actually, all four of us were speakers at Meet in the Street. So I guess Meet in the Street is where we all actually came together.
It's actually where I first met Miracle, too.
Okay.
Meet in the Street.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we all came together at Meet in the Street, which was actually done over in the cross-pollination corridor.
Yes.
And I was surprised that there weren't a lot of bees out, but there wasn't. It was a very well, how can I put it? Give it to me. Well, give it to me, Tanisha. It was a very well put together program.
It was really nice. And God moved at the end, even though it looked like things were going the way that we didn't plan, but he still had his hand in it, and it was awesome.
It was a progressive human trafficking awareness program in that all of the speakers had a different topic, but yet all of the topics were surrounded by human trafficking awareness. Because I spoke of my own daughter who had someone trying to pick her up in Walgreens in Rochester Hills. And Miracle, you shared your story.
Yes.
You know, you shared your story, and Tanisha, you know, everyone had a story to share. And what made me say that it was progressive, it was one of the first human trafficking programs in the city that I know of where there was a former pimp who was on the program to speak, and he was speaking from his perspective as a former pimp, and he's no longer out there. He's actually helping others to get out of trafficking. So he's fighting for the awareness, and he's actually fighting pulling people out of trafficking. And there were some people that didn't like that he was speaking, but we continued on with the event, and protesters and all. And even at the end, what Tanisha was saying is he went out and talked to the protesters, let them know that he didn't do anything to them, and that he was out there fighting just as hard as they are to get people out of trafficking. And I think that he's the best person to talk to some of these young men and say, don't do it.
Yeah.
He is. When the protesters they didn't start protesting until he got up there. Is when they started
Well,
actively.
they were out there.
They
but
were out there.
They weren't loud.
Yeah,
until
but
he got
when
up.
he got
Yes.
up, they began to be really loud, and that's when I went over there and started talking to him. So I'm actually on a video of them saying that I am a pimp pleaser. Because I was over there, and you know, my point for talking to them is, one, we're fighting the same fight, right? Even
Yes.
though we come from a different perspective, it's still the same fight, and he have every right to share his experience because he is one that can hit the person we can't hit. So in my effort of trying to put out the fires,
Yes.
I became a target.
Yes.
I became a target, but at the same time, I had to understand what triggered them because they didn't see a man that had changed his life. What they saw was the predator that trafficked them. And so I felt it was really important, you know what I'm saying, for them to come together. And my husband was like, why are you walking across there? But it's so amazing because he did. When he came over there and he stood his ground, and I had to be the hardest thing
For him to do.
for him to do.
Yes.
Is because even though they wasn't his victim, they were victims. To fate his present. I think he said it like when his past met his present, and he had to stand his ground, and he did. You know, and
He
he did
respected them,
with
too.
respect.
He did it with
and he did it with
respect.
love, and he did it with grace.
And they accepted that. And in my opinion, I said there is no different in us allowing Barron to speak than allowing a woman who was considered as a bottom bee and who was out there recruiting and educating, you know, to satisfy the pimps.
Right.
There's no different, because that woman, she's changed her life, but yet we allow her to speak. So we should allow him to have his voice as well, and it worked out. And one of the things with everyone coming together with United to Fight, I love it because it's East Side and West Side coming together. So it's definitely Detroit, you know. And yes, I'm East Side girl, Chalmers, South of Jefferson. I'm gonna go East Side. No. But you know, I also lived on the West Side as an adult, you know, and it's bringing everything together, because we have the Brightmoor community, we have your community. What is there a name for your community?
I believe it's Morningside.
Morningside. Okay, so
No, it's not the Osborne. I believe it's Morningside.
Okay.
okay.
Can I ask you, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. What high school are you closest to?
East English Village.
Okay. Finney?
Yeah.
Used to
Old
be
Finney.
Fanny. Yeah, old
I
Fanny.
always break up areas by the closest
Makes me
high
come
school.
closer.
Yeah.
And I'm going by the original 23.
Come up closer. Come
that
Right.
used to be. Yep. Sorry about that. Yep.
So very
Yes.
close to East English Village.
very good.
Yep.
Yes. So you know, so we're bringing all of this together, as well as all the knowledge. We have survivors, you know, within United to Fight. We have mothers, but we're looking at fighting from the perspective of raising the children's self-awareness. So that they will have enough pride and respect in themselves to not become a target, or not to be come on, Miracle.
You
Give
felt
it
I
to
had
me.
something to say.
I know. Bring it in.
I
Yes.
love it. I love to hear her speak.
Yes,
I was
I do
thinking
too. Come on,
actually
Miracle.
of how I first got into the human traffic awareness, not even knowing prior that I was, you know, a possible, you know, about to be a victim. But it was when I first met Stacy when she did her play in 2018. Baran, we both go to the same church, and so I went there to support him, and I'm looking at the play, and I couldn't sleep that night. I'm like, so this ain't just happening on the movies. This is not taken. I think your play was in December.
We did one in
What is-
December 2017, and then one 2016, and
Was it
then
16?
April of 2017, I believe.
So the one
then
you
you had
did
18
in
as well.
December,
Okay, so it's
Yeah, you had 18.
18.
December 2017 and April 2018.
Yeah, because it took on a life of its own too.
I went to the one in December 2018, and by January 18th, I planned my first human traffic awareness event, because
Really?
that's how much of a burden that it got to me.
Okay.
It got to me, and I didn't even understand the connection until Baran was sharing his testimony. Another friend of mine, who is his daughter, was trafficked.
Okay.
And then she became a recruiter. She was sharing her testimony, but as they were sharing the testimony, it all flashed back that was me, that was my mom, and that's when the fire started. And I just haven't been the same since then. Haven't been the same since then. And so I believe we have a lot for survivors, but there's not a lot of prevention.
Right.
So that the youth don't become. Because if I had a safe place to go to when I ran away, if my mom had a safe place to go to when she ran away, if these aging out foster care youth had a safe place, if the boys are taught the value of women, you know what I'm saying?
I know
Then
exactly
we
what you're
prevent it
saying.
from a whole different level.
Yes.
Come on.
We prevent it from a whole different level
know.
versus, okay, when you make it out, we got you. How about we got you before you
Before
get
you
in
get
it?
there.
And
That's
so
right.
that's what I love about us coming together and uniting to fight against this, that we're fighting for our kids before they become victims.
Yes.
Because it's time out for, oh, this happened, I'm sorry. No, it's stand up so that it don't happen.
Yes.
Right? And so
Right.
that's what I love about us coming together. We all share that same passion in one form of another of wanting to prevent it from happening to our kids.
Yes.
And we're
That is
all
true.
fighting for our children in different ways.
Yeah.
We're all fighting in different ways. You know, but all of us are fighting toward building that child, building those children up.
Yeah.
We're all building them up from
Yes.
the inside.
Yes.
Yes.
We're all building up. Stacy actually speaks. You all have met Stacy on my podcast before. Stacy should just be a co-host because she be here so much. But Stacy goes into Detroit Public Schools and talks to the children and teach them. And you're going into that middle and high school. Are you going into the elementary schools yet, or you're headed that way?
Unfortunately, I do, because I only wanted to speak to middle school and high school students. But it is unfortunate that I do have to go into elementary schools. And one of the reasons why is that children as young as, I want to say second grade, some people will challenge me to go to kindergarten, have social media accounts. And children are posting inappropriate pictures in elementary school of themselves. I have to go in and talk to them about human trafficking, because that's where it can start, is through social media. And they're not children. I'll stand by this, are just not, to me, intelligent enough to discern the danger that goes on out there. But
Right.
No,
I also
not at that age.
Yeah, and I also engage with teachers and also parent-teacher associations. And when I was speaking Friday at Save
That's
the
okay.
Pearls, and I always say, not to children but to parents and to adults, we tell our children at a young age, as early as 2, don't talk to strangers. But we allow them to go on social media at such a young age
And talk to strangers all day
and
long.
We give strangers that access, and they don't understand catfishing. They don't understand what it means to be groomed, and they don't understand that someone can pose as someone else in their inbox and follow their every move when they're checking in what school, where they cheer, where they play, Fortnite and things like that. And so, unfortunately, I do have to go in, and I have to add other components, because a high school contacted me. I've got to talk about domestic violence and dating, and
Yes.
I am a retired police officer, so I'm blessed to be able to talk about those things. And sometimes when I want to shut that door, God said, no, you just beginning, because I still have to go out as Officer Johnson and wear that hat and sound the alarm about human trafficking and about domestic violence amongst teens and different things like that. So, yeah, I do speak with elementary, middle school, and high school, MPTAs, and parent or teachers as well, because a lot of times it's just good to know what signs to look out for teachers. And also when there's a child with there's absenteeism is an issue, a lot of big truancy issues, that could be it should be a red flag. And I don't tell them, not everybody, because if a child is sick, they'll have documentation from a physician. But if there's unexplained documentation and there's excessive, a child being excessively truant, that should be a red flag. And a lot of times, the truancy court, there's one court for every student for Detroit Public Schools, and it's just sometimes there needs to be a little bit more interaction, a little bit more pressure if there's a red flag in at home.
Yeah.
Yes. And Tanisha, you have a mentoring organization for young ladies.
Yes.
So tell us about your mentoring organization.
Well, this is something that I just started doing here in Detroit. I started doing it in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. I had a group of women that I was working with, and I would work with their children. So it's just something that I've always had a desire to do. In Detroit, I had all ages, from 5 to 16. So I would just work with them and teach them the Bible and make it fun for them to learn and want to be interactive with it, and just get, their opinions and their ideas about what they want to do with their life, and just have fun with them, because they don't have a lot of that. So it was a pleasure for Miss Miracle to offer her building to me to start this mentorship. So the ages that I'm working with now is going to be 13 through 18.
Okay.
So my desire is to just help them with everything life skills, how to dress, do their hair, how to do their makeup, how to start a business, how to write a business plan, how to write your goals, accomplish them, just live an organized life.
Nice.
So that's my desire.
Okay. Yes. See, everyone's coming together, and I think that a few of us have already decided that come Friday night we're going to At Pieces play. Because that's one thing we're gonna support each other. And Kathleen, tell us about your organization.
Well, my organization, as I said earlier, is called Damsel Take Your Crown. And I chose that because there are so many women who have gone through so many different things and they've lost themselves. They've lost their self esteem. They've lost their self will. They've lost anything and everything that can build them up. And I know I was once one of those girls. So the thought of being able to place a crown on your head and rise up is the reason why I chose Damsel Take Your Crown. So I have done several women's days where we had lunch. We come together, we have lunch, we talk. We have find out what we have in common. I've also done sobriety luncheons for women who have been on drugs. And now I'm doing this with the human trafficking.
Yes.
I want to say too that I just love you. I give you the flux sometimes when we talk. I love you. In your heart is you have such a big heart. And when that pressure came down, you never backed down. On that day,
No, she didn't.
You never backed down.
No, she didn't.
And when I would talk to you, I because I'm looking at it, as sometimes, a part of my brain was, let's just be politically correct. Well, maybe, you had all of these key people and these key organizations. Maybe we can bring them back at another time. And you refuse to be double-minded. You refuse to back down. And you saw the importance in that message. God saw the importance in that message. And I thank God for using you that day. I do. And you very strong woman. You never back down. I'll never forget that.
No,
Yep.
it was, and the thing is, it was very much so an impactful event, even though we lost half of the speakers.
Yeah.
But the speakers that were there, they filled in for the time and everything, and you walked away from there with knowledge. You walked away from there knowing that there was a difference made that day. And I know, I drove out there. I drive from Rochester, so I have a very long drive, but I make it. I make it anytime I need to make that drive. And, I was getting in my car and I'm coming and you telling me that, I don't know what we're going to do. And I'm like, well, I'm still headed that way, And she was like, well, maybe we won't speak. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if I get there, if you need me to speak, I'm going to speak. Wherever I need to step in, I was still willing to do so. And then I had my LoveLogical family there, my bodyguard, my Guidos, who would come in there too. You see, Miracle, she got her bodyguard sitting right next to her right now, But it wasn't even needed, because everyone just did what they had to do. And one of the things that I like about all of the women that I met that day at Meet in the Street is everyone has a LoveLogical heart.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. We all share a heart for the people, for the children, for the women, and everything. And we have all we've all had tragic stories in our lives, all of us. And not tragic stories that's just human trafficking or, I'm a domestic violence survivor. I know that, we have others who have survived so many other things in their lives. So we have a lot to share to these young people so that they can hopefully prevent going through where we've been and saving them.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do
Mm-hmm.
because they need that positive enforcement because there's so much negativity going on, even in their own hhome. You know, so they need that positive outlook because I know I didn't have it. It was so much negativity around me, and it begins to make you have low self-esteem, insecurities, you know, and not knowing that you can do more than what you are and not knowing who you are. So when you have that positive voice letting you know that you can be a business owner, you can do whatever your heart desires for you to do. You are everything that God says that you are. Because a lot of our young people don't pick up a Bible. They don't read it. They don't know what the scripture says. They don't know who they are. You know, so it's important for us to impact that and to, you know, and in that, put that inside of them, speak that life into them so they know who they are. And my dream is to raise up a generation of leaders.
Yes.
Who love themselves.
I was speaking to a woman this morning who called about tickets for the event on the 16th, and I told her, I said, well, I don't have any more tickets. And she said, well, what got all of this started? And and I went back to tell her that the event that we had that day, where we were actually almost sabotaged by a group that we thought was going to have our backs, is when the decision in my spirit was, you can do this yourself. Everyone that you had there today, you can get together, group together, and you can do exactly what needs to be done. And God kept speaking that in my spirit, and I kept saying, no. He kept saying, yes. So this is where it came from.
All right.
Yeah.
The event that that Kathleen is speaking of, it's on the flyer for tonight, and it's United to Fight's first event. It's a family night movie featuring the movie Harriet, and Harriet is a strong sister.
Yes,
I'm not even saying was because she still is.
Yes. Yes.
Because she lives in so many of us.
Yeah.
She really does. Because if you sit back and you look at those of us sitting around this table, we may not be here right now had it not been for the sacrifices and the courage
Yes.
that Harriet Tubman had.
Yes.
Come on.
You know, she really did it for us.
Yes.
You know, and I said, I don't care. People talk about slavery and we look at the negative of slavery, but we also have to look at the positive that came out of it. We're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
We're
the
here.
sad part is that we're here, and a lot of us, our youth and our women, are still bound.
Yes.
They're still bound.
Mentally
So, yes.
and emotionally, right? Because though we broke through some barriers, we've allowed the trauma to be
Keep
trapped
us-
inside
yes.
and keep us bound.
Yes.
And so what makes it easy for predators, or what makes it easy for us to keep silent when things happen, is because we've never released the trauma from within. We've never broke the barrier. So it's the picture of a person being in jail and the door is open, but they're still sitting there. Why?
Yes, because it is. It's almost like some of it is generational. Some of it is self-inflicted. And some of it is just don't know how to ask or go out to get help.
Or don't even know that they're bound.
Don't even know that they're bound.
And that's
Yes.
something that Harriet Tubman said. She said she was always working to get people freed, and a lot of them didn't realize that they had been bound.
Yeah.
So it was difficult for her to help get these people to where they needed to go because they were so used to being right in this little contained area.
And taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a person that I am extremely obsessed with is Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Next to Jesus Christ, it would be Harriet Tubman. And she would go back and there were family members that she couldn't rescue right away. And she could discern who she could take And she said there were thousands that she knew, you know, even with her, she would have these spells because of a head injury. But there were so many people she knew
Yes.
would give her up and have her
Yes.
killed.
Yes.
And they were very, very comfortable with living in that atmosphere in slavery. Unfortunately, it's a mindset.
Yes,
For
a
a lot of
mindset.
people, it was a mindset.
Yes.
But Harriet, to me, is a perfect first event
Yes.
because not only is it something that's going to show you that no matter what is going on inside of you, you still push forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got
You
to.
can do it. You
have
can
to.
do it. You can do
Yes.
whatever you put your mind to.
Yes.
And the event is on the flyer. It says free for kids, and there was $20 for everyone else. And originally we looked at it. It's like, okay, it's going to be a fundraiser, and we had an angel, a silent angel investor,
Yes.
who came in and said, I'm going to pay for the theater and the bus transportation
Yes.
to get children there.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, I mean, that
Yes.
was a blessing
Yes.
within itself.
Yes.
To have a silent investor come in and say, I'm going to do this. So, we instantly reached out within the communities, within the organizations that are there to assist and help our children, and we got those tickets out to them.
Yes.
You know, my tickets are going to a fostering agency. They're going to an agency who helps children whose parents are incarcerated, and to an agency who's helping children who are aging out of the system. So that's where my tickets went, you know. And everyone here, it's like, we're doing it. Where'd your tickets go, Miracle?
Some of the youth that we have working with us, we have about 8 youth that works with us and come to our different programs. So we're going to bring them. And then 4 went to the initial 2 people who purchased 2 tickets. Because I just replaced the money to purchase our tickets
Yes.
and gave them that back, their money and
Nice.
the tickets, so they can have free tickets.
That's
to come.
nice. That's nice. And Stacy?
A group that I spoke with back a few months ago. I forgot the name of the group, but it's a group of young girls around the age of 12. They're young lady. My cousin, as a matter of fact, has this group of young ladies and they do a lot of events, and so it's going to that group. And some of them might be at risk. Yes.
Yeah, my tickets went to families. So I'll have a group of families there.
That's good. That's good.
Brightmoor has a community center, and most of the tickets, about 24 tickets, went to this community center so that they can bring their families and the children can come in. And then there were a few that were giving to people who have children who don't really know anything about Harriet Tubman, including my own family. So that's
Okay.
where the tickets went.
Yes, and then I'll have my daughter and my son and my family there to support, because we're going to have to all be there to help make sure that everything goes smoothly. But I really like the fact that we have so many children coming out of the Brightmoor area, that we've provided a bus for them.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be at the Star Gratiot. And we've provided a bus for them to get there from Brightmoor, and that our angel investor has made that possible.
Yes.
So, ladies, I mean, we have so much to look forward to over the next year, because not only are we going to be doing Unite to Fight, we're also going to be supporting our individual businesses amongst ourselves. So I'm looking forward to Miracles having her Christmas party. And
Yes.
plan on being right there with LoveLogical.
Yeah.
LoveLogical is going to be, we're looking at doing hair for dents for the holidays, as we did last year. So everyone is coming together. My Christmas cards will be going on sale next week. So I have the LoveLogical Christmas cards. And who else? What else you got going on, ladies? I know you have your mentorship program. What Saturdays? What days?
The first and the third Saturday
Okay.
every month.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. First
and
and
it's from
third
12
Saturday.
to 2.
Okay, and that's at I want to say it
LWS.
I keep wanting to go SW. So it's LWSC Community Center, and that's off of Harper and 3 Mile Drive. And it's actually a nice community center. So if you're looking for a place to have your Christmas parties, to have baby showers, events, and things like that, you do have parking. You have things that are available over there. Go over there and check it out. Because I told Miracle, I said, I didn't even know this community center was here. So now expect to see me.
I heard it had a stage. I was like,
Yeah, I'm telling Stacy, I'm like, yeah, they got.
on the east side where they have a stage. Oh,
That's exactly what she did. She said it's on the east side. I said she's got community partners and this, that, and the other. And she said, Michelle, it's on the east side. I said, I live in Rochester Hills. If I could drive over there, And then she says, well, Michelle says got a stage. She said, oh, what? I got to go over and see that. Yeah, and Tanisha, you have yours, and then Stacy, what do you have going on? I know you're speaking all over the place.
I'll be speaking actually tomorrow, Detroit Public School and event, and I've got some. I think I know one more in November. November 13th, I start my first round of chemotherapy.
Okay.
I am a breast cancer. I see myself as a breast cancer survivor.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Right.
And I thank God for all of you you reach out to me and you encourage me. I might get a little choked up, but I will be there for 3.5 to 4 hours, and I start my script then. The Holy Spirit, He's been just giving me a lot of scenes and different things for the movie about human trafficking. And Baran is he'll be one of my consultants for that. I can't go into detail, but you probably can put two and two together.
Yes.
But I'm excited, and I thought I was writing a play, but the movie it's a bigger push from the Lord, and I can't. A lot of times you can tell God, you could tell people what your plans are. But God has some different plans.
Yes, and I'll ask you after you start writing if it's going to be a short film or if it's going to be a
It'll
full
be
movie.
Full-length
movie?
movie. Full-length movie.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay, look. That's my headshot.
Right.
You all know you'll play a role in this, don't you? You all know.
That's all right.
Yes.
I'll be in the back
Everybody
working
at
with the
this
script.
table will be involved some kind of way. Yes.
That's awesome.
I'll be backstage. I'll be back working with the script. So I've done that for a short film before, so that I know how to do. So I'll do that. So okay. So for United to Fight, we're in our planning. We're having our strategic planning and everything for next year. We will have not just United to Fight events on our calendar, but we will be placing all of our own events on the calendar as well, because one thing that we are dedicated to is having events not be on the same day, so that way we can support each other. So when I say that it's a true LoveLogical, sisterhood, that's exactly what it is, because we're putting ourselves, aside for each other. And I love that. I do. I love that. I love that if something is going on with my daughter, Kathleen is calling saying, how's it going? Stacy's calling saying, what's going on with Janelle? I had a situation where I was going to TSU. I called Tanisha. Tanisha was like, I got you,
Right.
I got you. So it is. It's a wonderful tribe.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful tribe. I love it.
Yes.
And then to find out that Miss Miracle goes to conferences and everything. So she's been to the Human Trafficking Conference in California, and Miracle is a speaker as well.
Yes.
So we have multiple public speakers amongst us. And like I said, I don't think there's too many topics that we wouldn't be able to handle within the group itself.
I think we got it.
Yeah, I think we got it,
We got it.
And are we looking at other people to come in the group? Yes. But we're looking at other people who could come in and and put themselves aside for the
Yes.
sake of the tribe.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And know that we got you as long as you got everyone else.
Yeah. Because it's
You
a
know,
sacrifice.
It
Yes.
is. It really is.
Serving is a sacrifice.
It is.
It is.
As a minister, you can take away the pulpit, you can take away the mic, put me on the streets with the people, and that's more ministry than I can ever do in the 15 minutes I'm on the pulpit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Ministry for me is serving the people.
Yes.
Yes.
that's
And
what
if you don't
ministry
have a
is,
heart to
people.
serve,
That's right.
shouldn't be in no type of organization or
Right.
business where you got to serve,
Right.
because it's all about what you can give of yourself. And I want to die empty. I think Miles Monroe said, you know what I'm saying? The grave is already filled with so much wealth. I'm dying empty. I'm pouring out everything that God has placed in me into the people that's
Yes.
connected to me.
Yes.
And I think that's what we want. You know, as far as when we look at people that want to join, they have to have the same passion
They
of
gotta
wanting
that
to
same
serve.
passion
Yes.
and
You
feeling.
know, and
Yes.
wanting to unite, because that
Yes.
word by itself
Yeah.
is powerful.
Yes.
And to be happy people, because
Yes.
that's another thing too. We're all very happy people and when we come together, you could tell that. You could definitely tell that.
Yes.
Yes, and that does make a difference. So these are the people that's here tonight. We have, two that's not here, but this is United to Fight for Human Trafficking Awareness, and these are the hearts that are willing to fight for your children.
Yes.
So for my LoveLogical families, the foster, adopted, blended, extended families, we want you to know that we're here. We want to make a difference because we don't want anyone to lose their child to an online predator just because someone was able to get into their head and tell them that they're beautiful, tell them that they're loved. Tell your kids on a regular basis that they're beautiful, that they're loved, and teach them how to tell themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because them knowing that they're beautiful, them knowing that they're loved makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
Because then that way when someone tells them,
Yes.
instead of it being, oh really? It's I know.
Right.
Thank
Yes.
you. I know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and fathers, tell your daughters that they're beautiful.
Yes.
Have those date nights and, father-daughter date nights, grandfathers, LoveLogical fathers, step up and teach your daughters what it feels like to be cared for, so they don't look for it in someone else.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So anyone else got anything to add to that? Please do.
Yeah, it definitely starts at home.
Yes.
And I commend Miracle for what she's doing with her new project, her house that she's doing.
Yes.
You're such a blessing, and you're going to bless so many women.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you want to
young
share
women.
about the house?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's LWSC Community Circle. One of our initiatives to prevent human trafficking was to purchase a house. So we have a home that is currently being renovated, and we want to turn this house into a safe house for at-risk youth who are aging out of foster care. This first house will be for at-risk youth who are aging out of foster care. But our desire is to have 7 houses by 2023, and to be able to help runaways, youth that are going through issues and just need a safe place to go so they don't have to become victims of human trafficking.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yes.
I like how you think very forward and out of faith.
Yeah.
This is our first because you have that vision.
Yeah.
And you wrote
Yes.
it down and
It's-
made it
Yes.
plain.
And I'm here for you if you need anything.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Likewise.
All of
Yes.
us. All
Thank
of
you.
Yes.
us.
Thank you
Love
so
it.
much.
Yes.
Love what you're doing.
Yes.
I'm not a good painter, but I at least do know how to roll some paint on the wall.
If you could get any help other than financial help, what type of help do you need from people? or public?
People can donate supplies. I think on Saturday we're going to clean up the yard before it gets too cold. So Saturday is going to be a cleanup day after our prayer breakfast. Donate supplies, donate labor, what kind of any type of repairs that they know how to do. Maybe they can donate, putting up some doors, do some vinyl siding, whatever, anything that can be done, or furniture, because we're going to need the furniture after it's rehab. Because our goal is to have the home ready for Thanksgiving and have a Thanksgiving dinner with them.
Okay.
This Thanksgiving?
This Thanksgiving?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Yes,
I'm
I
just a
love it.
leaper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm just a leaper. I believe that God is going to
I
provide.
love
He
it. I love it.
will.
You got a fire in your
He
belly
will.
that's out of this
He
world.
will.
Now, how you have the tenants are already identified?
I have 2 that's identified, but we're able to have 4 in this particular home. So it's still open for 2 more.
Ladies only.
Ladies
Okay.
only, yes.
Will you one day have a home for our young boys?
Yes.
Okay.
So the second home will be for boys.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because boys are trafficked too.
Yes, they
They
are.
don't have a
They
home
are.
in Michigan,
Don't
to
hear
my
about it.
knowledge.
So there our second home that we are currently working on now. It will be for the boys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Praise God. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
That's awesome.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. We'll have to sit down and go over our plans together because that's actually in my business plan.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I know that this has been an introduction of Unite to Fight because I've heard many people say what we should do, that we should all come together, we should do this, and we should do this, and we should support each other. And I'm starting to see more and more women's groups coming together, supporting each other. I'm starting to see more men come together and support each other within the community. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I want you all to share before we go, how can they get a hold of you, Miracle?
Of course, on social media, Facebook, our organization name is LWSC Community Circle. My Facebook name is Miracle Norrid, and we are on Facebook and Instagram. Our website is www.lwsc3.org, and you can reach us there.
Okay, so that's lwsc3.org, lwsc3.org. And Stacy?
My Facebook page is Stacy J Productions, and that's Stacy with an EY, STACEY. My website, StacyJProductions.com. And that's again Stacy with an EY, and my email address is contact@StacyJProductions.com.
Okay, Tanisha.
Yes, I have 2 social medias.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook under Tanisha Simmons and Army of Angels, and also on Instagram under Army of Angels. And my email address is armyofangels11@gmail.com.
Okay, so we have Army of Angels on Facebook and on Instagram. And it's Army of Angels 11 at gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. And then Kathleen?
You could get me on Facebook. I don't know about all them other things.
That's all
Instagram,
right.
all
That's
that.
all right.
But I'm on Facebook
Okay.
under Kathleen Hurd.
And that's
Or-
HURD.
HURD. Or you can get me on email, medleyofsong@yahoo.com.au.
Okay, and that was Medley of Song.
MEDLEY
Uh-huh.
of OF song SONG @yahoo.com.au. Don't forget to put the AU.
Okay. .com.au.
Yes.
Okay, and then everyone knows you can reach me on LoveLogical on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under LoveLogical. You can also lovelogical.com, and there's a contact me page. Or, of course, I'm always here on Tuesday nights. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank everyone for uniting to fight
Yes.
for human trafficking. I am looking forward to seeing Harriet on November the 16th.
Yes.
And also look out for other events that's going to come up. And we need to put At Pieces play
Yes.
up so that people can come out to the Redford
Yes.
Theater.
Yes.
They have the best popcorn, and they also sell
They-
sweet potato pies from across the street from Sweet Potato Sensation.
All right.
And they got
That to look
good
forward
old
to.
school popcorn. So thank you so much for coming out tonight, ladies. Thank you to our engineer over there.
Thank
And as always, LoveLogical is biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice, DNA not required. Thank
I
you,
like it.
everyone.
Thank Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a